You're welcome to IGCSE Maths Academy. Today's video, I'm going to do IGCSE past paper questions on paper 4. As you can see here, that's the one I'm going to do. And I'm going to do time zone 4-2, okay? May, June 2025, time zone 4-2, okay? Good. Are you ready, guys? Should we start this party? Are you ready? Okay, let us dive in. So that's the one we're going to do. Get ready, and then we start, okay? Question 1. They told you it's a quadrilateral, a four-sided figure with these properties. So in geometry, I hope you studied this topic. You should be knowing the properties of quadrilaterals. You should be knowing their properties. They say the diagonals are the only lines of symmetry. Oh, okay. It has the rotational symmetry of order 2. The order of rotation is 2. That shape is the only rhombus, okay? That's the one they're talking about here, okay? So they're asking you to write the name. Question 2. This is the shape given. This is a triangle. You can see that. And then you have rectangles. And then they ask you, is this an edge? And then they ask you, what could be this shape? This solid, what shape is that? That's a triangular prism, okay? You should be knowing the names of different shapes, okay? Very good. Now, question 3. That's where the math is becoming very interesting. Are you ready, guys? Okay? Math is getting very interesting. Get ready here now. Now, a mass of box A, the ratio of mass box A and mass of box B is 4:7. The mass of box B is 2.4 more than the mass of box B. Okay, 2.4 more. Okay, now there are very many ways of approaching this question, but the easier way is to know this box A with a ratio of 4 and box B is of ratio 7. So box B is how much more than box A? Basically, I will simply get 7 minus 4, and it is 3. In fact, it is 3 more. Let me write it very well for everyone to see. So this is the 3. That means box B is 3 more than box A. Now, that means 3 units of box box B, should be equivalent to that, because they said the mass of box B is 2.4 more than the mass of box A, because box A is 4. So 4 of 4. And what, by how much more? It's how much by 3, because you get 7 minus 4. So now, if 3 corresponds to this, so 1 will correspond to what? 1 will correspond to, will be equal to 24, 2.4, sorry, divided by 3, and that gives you 1 unit. 1 unit is that. And then they said calculate the mass of box A and that one. So what do? You get 0.8 times 4 to get for the box A. 0.8 times 7 to get for box B. That's why I got the answers, okay? You understand? This is 1 unit. After getting 1 unit, you multiply it by this, and you multiply it by that, okay? I hope you have understood that, okay? Very good. Question 4. Now, for question 4, what shape is that, guys? They already said it's a trapezium. How do we get area of a trapezium? I have base, I have bracket big base plus small base, or whatever, any other way, then height, okay? So A, B, and A, there are 2 parallel sides. It's this one and this. That's why I have 12 here, and that's why I have 10 here, okay? Now, this plus that gives you 22. Divided by that gives you 11. 11 times 8 gives me 8. That's the area of a trapezium, okay? Very good. Next question. Now, Scott changes $300 into pounds, and the exchange rate is 1 pound is equal to $1.2. That's the exchange rate. Now, if 1 pound is equivalent to that, so $300 will be equal to what? Will be equal to X. Basically, I cross multiply, I get this times that, and then this times that, it will give me 1.2x, and then will give me 300 here, and then you divide by 1.2, divide by 1.2, If I divide by 1.2, then $300 will equivalent to 2. So I think I made a mistake. Can I confirm with my calculator? I think it will be 250, right? What did I do? Let me confirm one more time, guys, okay? 300 divided by 1.2 divided by 1.2 should be 250. It should be 250, not so it should be 250, okay? I'm bad when I was writing, okay? I hope you understand, okay? Now, question 6. A solid wooden cone, okay, that's the keyword here, has a radius of 4 and a height of that, and it has a depth of that. They were very generous to give you the formula. Calculate the mass. So we know that density, as it's given here, density is equal to mass over volume. So what will be the mass? Mass will be equal to density times the volume. Do you get that? Now, when you check, you don't have volume. You don't have volume. So we need to calculate the volume. What's the volume of a cone? 1 over 3 pi r squared h. So I have the radius, I have the height. Substituting the formula. 1 over 3 times pi times 4 squared, which is the radius, times the height, gives me this. That's the volume of what? Volume of a cone. Now, mass, as I said here, is given by density times volume. So get your density, which is 0.74, times the volume, which is 64 pi. When you work out 2, you get this one. And if you give it to 3 significant figures, gives you that. Are we together, guys? I hope you understand. Okay? And you're enjoying this party. Question 7. Okay? Now, question 7. This is the question of a straight line, but don't mind about that. Question is equal to y equals mx plus c, because this is about subject of the formula. Now, make m the subject. Whenever you're making the subject, you reverse what they did. What did they do? So they have y. They got m times x plus c. If you are making m, you have to do the last step. They did plus c. So I take c the other side. It's plus. When it goes the other side, it will be minus equals mx. And mx, what's the sign between m and x? Is multiplication. So what's the reverse of multiplication? Division. So I divide by m both sides, and that's my answer. Well done. This is just typing in your calculator, and make sure your calculator should be having fraction things somewhere on your calculator, okay? Something like that. That's the one you should have. You should use whenever you're doing discussion. If you don't have that, put this in brackets, okay? And then you write divide, and then you put this in brackets, better. If you don't do that one, you are risking of not getting correct answer, okay? Type this one in the, if you do that one, that's what you're going to have in your calculator. Very good. Simultaneous question, they ask you to solve. So I can go with the elimination method. I can go with substitution method. You can go with graphical method. But the easier way in the exam here, just go with the elimination method. I decided to eliminate using it, to eliminate the W, but also you can eliminate the, no, I decided to eliminate the Y, but also you can eliminate the W. So this is 3, this is 1. So that's why I wrote 3 here. Here you just put there 1. So when I multiply by 1, I'll get 2W minus 3W equals to 11. What about this one? 9W plus 3Y times, that is 3 times 11 gives me 33. I'm eliminating Y, and they have opposite signs. Whenever they have opposite signs, you add. If they have the same signs, you subtract. This time around, they have opposite signs. That's why I'm going to add. Do you get that, guys? Come on, here we go. Good. Now, when I add here, 2W plus 9W gives me 11W. What about 11 plus 33? Because this one will cancel out. This will give me 44. Divide by 11 both sides. W is 4. Substitute either in this question of this. Me, I chose the second equation. So it will be 3W, but my W is 4. So 3, 4 plus Y equals to 11. What's 3 times 4? 12. Take 12 the other side. I'll get 11 minus that. So Y equals to that. 3 free marks in the exam. Question 10. A group of 12 adults and 9 children travel on a bus. The cost of an adult ticket is N, and the cost of a child ticket is N minus C, 10. The total cost is that. Okay, now that's the total cost of how many people? 12 adults and 9 children. So if I get 12 times the cost of one ticket, I'll get the total cost of address. So that's why I got 12 times n, because it's n, the cost of one. Okay. Now, what about the cost of one ticket of children? Is this one? And how many children do you have? 9. So I have to get this one times 9. That's why I have that. And the total of that should always give me, the total of that should always give me is this. That's why I equated that. I hope you have understood. Should I repeat one more time? This is 12, and each ticket is n. So the total will be 12 times n to get the total cost of 12 adults. Okay. Now, for children, it is 1 times 9. So this one, open the bracket, 12n, 9n minus 90 equals to that. Correct like terms. What is 12n plus 9n? 21. This one takes the other side. So we have 21 divided by 21 both sides. That is the cost of one ticket for adults. What about to the young one? They didn't ask you, but if they ask you, will be 17.5 minus 10. Good. In a cell, the original price of a shirt is reduced by 15. Initial was 100%, and it has reduced by 15. If it reduces by 15, we remain with what? We remain with the 85. Initial is 100%, which with a certain value of money, which we don't know the cost price, and it reduced by 85, I mean by 15. So 100 minus 15 gives 85. And 85% is equivalent to this. So what will be the cost of original price? So cross multiply this gives me that, and now you divide by 85. Oh, you can simply go with the formula if you want. Original price, original value of anything is always a new price in the cell or whatever over multiplier. Multiplier here, if I'm choosing the formula, the new, it will be 23.63, guys, okay? All of this over multiplier, it was 100% minus 15 because it's reduced over 0.85. So anyway, you get the same thing, okay? Good. These are the sides of rectangle. They said correct to the nearest that. So it will be 1 divided by 2 gives me 0.5. Then I do plus or minus of that. This will be upper bound of the side, and this will be lower bound of the side. The width is 14 plus or minus. Also, you do plus that gives you upper bound of the width and lower bound of that. Then they said calculate lower bound of the perimeter. Okay, perimeter of any shape is given by 2 brackets length plus width. So now it's upper bound. I have to use upper bound. They said lower bound, guys. Lower bound, my bad. They said lower bound. Okay. So if it's lower bound, it will be this one plus this times 2, and then it gives you that. Okay. Very good. Now, similarity question. Are we together, guys? Now, this one, you have to be careful. This angle is similar to that, and this angle is similar to that. If that's the case, this side is similar to this side, and this side is similar to that. This one is similar to that. Okay? Do you understand? So let me say it in terms of AB is similar to PQ, BC is similar to QR, and PR is similar to AC, depending on the way angles are given. Very good. Now, calculate the length of PR. Where is PR? PR is this one. So PR 12 is similar to that. So 12 divided by PR should be equal to 9 over 6, because this side is given and this side is given. That's what I used that. So cross multiply. When I cross multiply, it will be 9 PR equals to 6 times 12 divided by 9, then gives you that. Now, they told you triangle ABC and triangle PQ are cross-section of the two prisms. These prisms are mathematically similar, okay? Similarity. The volume of a smaller one is that. The volume of that, it is 1, 1, 2, 0. That's the volume, okay? Now, they're asking you to find the volume of that. Now, whenever you bring in the volume, maybe let me write the formula. When you're dealing with the length, square factor, here I'm dealing with the length. If I'm dealing with the area, it will be the square factor. Area square factor will be given by that. Area 2 over area 1. Okay? Is that okay, guys? And the volume If you're dealing with volume, will be volume 2 over volume 1. What I'm calling arrow 2 over arrow 2, I mean big side, big shape, big area, big volume, okay? That is it. So now, if I get the big volume over small volume, it should be called the scale factor, which is 9. 9 divided by 6. 9 divided by 6. That's my scale factor, okay? For side. So what do I get now? It will give me 3 over 2. But this is for sides. Volume, if its volume comes in, I'll do power 3. That's why you check here, I did 9 over 6 power 3 because we have volume. Okay? Now, this one, cross multiply, will give you that. Type that in your calculator and gives you that. Okay? Next question is about to factorizing. Factorize 5x minus 10, ax plus 2a. Okay? So, we need to correct like terms if it's needed, but this time it's not need. So, what's the common factor for 5x and 10 is 5. Our main with x inside. What about here? The common is a. What says inside? X minus 2. So, when you reach here, this is the same as that. So, this and that. So, I get 5 minus a, x minus 2 gives you that. Then you have your answer. Okay? Very good. 2 marks. An interior polygon of a regular polygon, an interior angle of an irregular polygon is 172. Now, there are very many methods. This is the one I prefer. We know that interior angle, one interior angle, okay, one interior angle. Oh my God, just a second, guys. Okay, one interior angle plus it means exterior angle. One exterior angle plus one interior angle equals to 180 degrees. So very important for me to know. So this gives me 180. So if I have one exterior angle and I'm interested in getting interior angle, I'll simply get 180 minus that. This is one interior angle. But we also know that for any polygon, number of sides is equal to 360 over interior angle. Sorry, what am I confusing this? Sorry, guys. Sorry. So now, exterior angle plus interior angle is equal to 180. So they gave me interior angle. So this will be the sides of one exterior angle. So we know that number of sides divided by exterior angle should give you number of sides. Basically, we know that exterior angle one of that is equal to 360 divided by number of sides. Okay, so let me repeat myself if I made it confusing you somewhere. Now, exterior angle plus interior angle equals to 180. Now, I have one interior angle, so I get 180 minus the interior angle, then I'll get one exterior angle, which is 80 degrees. From knowing that exterior angle is equal to 360 divided by number of sides, so by making the number of sides the subject of the formula, that's what I'm going to get here, okay? Which will end up giving me this, and that's how I got this one, okay? Another way you can simply know that one interior angle, okay, one interior angle, you can use this formula, the one I'm going to write here, is equal to number of sides minus 2 times 180 over number of sides. So if you use the same formula, you will end up getting exactly the same thing. Should I do it and you see? It is 172, okay, I'll gather here, 172 equals to the number of sides, which you don't know, it's 180, I'm opening the bracket, minus n here, minus 360, divided by n. Can I cross multiply? I'll get 172n. Now, equals to 180 n, okay, minus 360. Let me write down here. Now, can I correct like terms? Take this on the other side and bring this one here. So 360 is equal to 180n minus 172n, which gives me 80n. Divide by 8, divide by 8, which is exactly the same as this. But this one has too much of algebra. That's why I don't like it. Always advise students to go with the first method, okay? Very good. I can erase this one very fast, okay? Now, they told us on one day, the probability that the weather will be sunny is that. Find the probability on any day that it will not be sunny, okay? We know that, okay, I wrote the formula here. Probability of A complement is always 1. So if that's the case, the probability of being sunny is that, probability of not being sunny, it will be 1 minus that. So that's the answer here. Easy peasy, lemon peasy, okay? Very good. It's as easy as pie. When the weather is sunny and the probability that whatever Rohit goes to work is this one. So I use tree diagram here, probability of being sunny and working. Okay, this is that. Now, probability of being sunny is that. Not being sunny will be 0.3. Working when it's sunny is 0.9. So not working, it's 0.1. Because remember here, they should always add up to 1. Now, when the weather is not sunny, that is the one, S complement. The probability that Rohit goes to work is 0.2. So that means here it's 0.2. Not now, not working, I mean, working is that, not working is 0.8. Because should always add up to 1. Why? Probability of A plus probability of A complement should always give you 1. Very good. Now, find the probability that on any day Rohit goes to work. Where does he work? Here and here. So basically, it means 0.7 times 0.9 plus, because this way you multiply, and when you change the direction, you add, because there is all. And rule you multiply, and all you add. So that's how I'm getting this times that, because that's working. Plus working, this one. This is another way of working. So this way, okay, this one and this, because that's where you have working, okay? So when you work out that in your calculator, gives you that. Very good. Next question, question 17. Alex invests this at an interest rate of that. Simple interest, not compound interest, okay? The formula for simple interest is given by that. Find the total amount Alex has after 5 years. So for compounding, I mean for simple interest, I have to get the amount I'm going to have, the interest I'm going to have after 5 years. So I equals to P, principal times interest rate times T, number of years. So 400, interest rate, 5 years. When you work out after 5 years, it's going to be having this. Now, this is the interest you have made, but you started with 400. So what will be the total amount? Will be that. Okay, very good. Next question. Are you together, guys? Very good. Now, very interesting question in the paper. Very interesting question. I like this question. You can't understand how I like this question. Now, he has $100 to spend. Velas has $100 to spend. In February, he spent his X. In March, he spent 10 more than what he spent in February. In April, he spent 10 more than what he spent in February. I hope you have understood that. For instance, I'm just giving an example, not in terms of percentage, not in terms of percentage. Come on. He spent $10 in Feb. In March, we have to spend 10 more than of what he has spent. He has to be spending more than 10% of that. Okay? Then, in fact, so the simple, let me do the question. Okay? Because I don't want to confuse you more. Now, but there's something I haven't read. At the end of April, he has remained with that. So how much did he spend? He had 100. He has spent he has remained with that. So how much did he spend? 100 minus 3.8. Okay, very good. Now, Excuse me. So he spent X in Feb. In March, he spent X plus X to a 10% more. Have you seen what I've done? He spent 10 more than what he spent in Feb. In Feb, I don't know, he spent X. All I know, in March, he's going to spend 10% more than. So that is 10% of X. So now, which is going to give me X plus, this cancels out with that. So what do we get here now? 0.1X. And if you add, gives you that. Now, in April, what happened, guys? He spent again 10 more than. This is what he spent in March. In April, he's going to spend 10 more. That's why you're going to have and work out in that. So how much did he spend in total? He spent, let me choose the pen. In February, he spent X. In March, he spent that. In April, he spent that. So what's the total? The total is what you spend in Feb, what you spend in March, what you spend in April, right? Spending it, what you spend in Feb, what you spend in March, what you spend in April. So that would be equal to what he spent, because that's why he was subtracting here. Now, when you add all of that, gives you that. Then when you subtract this, gives you that. Then you divide. So he was spending, in Feb, he spent 20. So how much did he spend in March? You just do 20. No one is asking you that. I'm just showing that. It will be 20, don't mind about that, plus 10 over 100 of 20. Do you get that? So you work out, that's what he spent. And then if you want for the next one, you can keep on doing the same thing. Okay, very good question, guys. Okay. Question C. Bobby invests $500 in account which is a compound interest after 17 years. After 17 years, Bob, the investment is that. Okay. This is the formula for compound interest, guys. Compound interest. Okay. Now, A equals to that. Now, this is the total value of investment. That's why I have that one. He invested in A. This is P. So he has that. 1 plus R, we don't have interest rate, power 17. Now, whenever you're solving such equations, you have to reverse of what they were doing. So now, I'll have to divide by 500 both sides. It has power 17. I have to take 17 the other side. This one, then you do 17th root of that. So take one the other side. It's plus, you have to subtract. Then you have to multiply by 100. So that is the interest rate. Okay. Now I've got the interest rate, but the question is asking me find the value of Bobby's investment at the end of 20 years. So just go back in your formula. I have my 500, which is the amount of money invested. 1 plus 2 over 100. Do you understand where I got to? That's the interest rate I got here, guys. So type that in your calculator, power 20, and then you get the answer. Do you get that? Wow. I hope you understand. Very good. Oh, taco theorem. I'm planning to do, by the way, a video only on taco theorem. Only taco theorems. Because I've seen very many students who do IGCSE worldwide. They struggle with taco theorems. I'm going to compile past paper questions on taco theorems. Probably for past 10 years, I may even go more than that. I'll do only video on taco theorems. If you're struggling with taco theorems, come on, stay on IGCSE Maths Academy, guys. Okay, here we go. Let us continue and enjoy this party, okay? Very good. Now, this is a circle. They said ABC lie on the circle. Whenever you see this one, you should remember the circle theorem that says opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral add up to 180 degrees. Very important thing, okay? Now, let me start with what? They said find X. Let me start with X. Now, X is not after all the circle theorem. I have a triangle. Do you see that? You see this triangle? Do you see this? Okay. Angles in a triangle add up to what, guys? 180 degrees. So x plus 125 plus 26 should be equal to 180 because it's a triangle and the triangle adds up to, angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Therefore, x will be equal to 180 minus bracket 125 plus 126. Are we together, guys? Okay, I hope you have understood that. So if that's the case now, and you subtract x will be equal to that, done. The next question, they said find y. Okay, now y, let me remove what I have here because I want you to see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, this way, guys, where y is. Do you remember angles from the same arc subtended by the same arc are always equal? You see that? And the arc AB, the arc AB. So check if I go like this. Do you see that? Do you see that? So from the circle theorem, these two should be equal because they are formed from the same arc. So y is 52. Okay. Now we want to get z. Now to get z, I want you to see the quadrilateral. E, D, C, B. This is that? That's a four-sided figure. And this angle and this should add up to 180 because it's a cyclic quadrilateral. So a cyclic quadrilateral add up to 180 degrees. Angles in a opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral add up to 180 degrees. So now the problem, I don't have this. Okay, there are very many ways you can use. You can just get this angle here, which will be 55, and then you consider this triangle. You see that? Consider this triangle. My bad. You consider this triangle. You see this guy? Okay, if you consider that. So, and you have that. So you get 73. And then 73 plus z plus 73 to give me 180 degrees. Because angles in a cyclic quadrilateral add up to 180. So z will be equal to 180 minus 73. And that gives you z as 107. Okay, very good. Next question, question 19. It's about functions. Fx is given by that, g of x equals that, and that one. Okay, now this is easy, it's primary work. So it's just substituting here, and then you get your answers that. Now, this is the domain. Find the range. So basically, you have to use this. You put them here. Because these are domain. Domain are x values of your function. Range are y values of your function. So if this is the domain, so just find f of 3, f of negative 3. So that gives you that. Then put there 0. You are going to get 5. Put there 2. You are substituting in G. You get that? That's what I did here. Okay? And then that's what gives you. That is my range. Range are y values of my function. Okay? Very good. Find x when h of x is equal to that. When you check h of x is 2 power x. So 2 power x is equal to 1 over 32. Let me 2 power x is equal to 1 over 32. And what's 32, guys, in terms of powers? With 2 powers of 2. So it will be 2 power x is equal to 1 over 2 power 5. Take it up, will give me 2 power x is equal to 2 power negative 5. If bases are equal, powers are going to be equal. So x is the negative 5. I hope you understand that. I did a video on indices. Kindly, I request you to watch that video if you are struggling with indices. Even if you are not struggling, it's only IGCSE past paper questions for past 5 years, so which I compiled together. Watch the video. You are going to understand rows of indices. You are going to fully understand indices, guys, okay? Which are very important in IB, DP, or even in RFO. They are very important, okay? Very good. Okay, interesting question in the paper. Find x when h inverse of your function equals to that. Okay, now, few things for everyone. Before you can see what I did, but I want to explain some few things. Now, when you have a function, I can do an example here, by the way. I'm giving an example. Any function, I'm trying 5x, guys, okay? 5x plus 2. I'm just giving my own example. So, can we do f of 1? I'm just giving an example, okay? F of 1 will be what? 5 bracket 1 plus 2, right? Okay? Now, what's the answer, guys? This will be 7, okay? I'll get back to that in a few minutes. When you find f of 1, you get 7, okay? Now, can I find f inverse of my function, guys? Okay, I'm going to do it with a shortcut. I'm not going to follow the same formula. The inverse of this function, so I'll do x, they did plus, I'll do minus 2, they did times 5, I'll divide by 2. That's the inverse, okay? Now, I would like to do f inverse of 7. And you see what happened. Guys, math is very interesting. I don't understand how people don't like math. Math is very interesting. I enjoy mathematics. Wow, it's my passion. So I'll get 7 minus 2 over 5. What's 7 minus 2? 5. What's 5 divided by 2? 5 divided by 5 gives me 1. Oh, what was it initially? Do you remember when I did 1, I got 7. Now, what do I want you to keep in mind? When you do f of A and you get B, therefore, f inverse of B should give you A. Keep that in your mind. Very important concept in IGCSE, very important for IBDP, and very important if you are doing A-levels, okay? Any kind of math you're going to do in senior secondary school, upper secondary, either A-levels, either IBDP, very important. Now, if that's the case now, f of A equals to B. Therefore, f inverse of B will be equal to A. Now, if h inverse of x equals to that, therefore h of 3 will be equal to x. Now, what is the h of 3? Because I remember my h is 2 pi, that one. So when you substitute there, we'll give you that. Okay? If there's something you have not understood, put it in the comments. Okay? Very good. Question 20. This is a question given. Calculate the length AB. Calculate the length AB. Okay. I'll put back this one for you to see what I'm talking about. AB. They're asking you AB. And this is a right angle triangle. Whenever you have a right angle triangle, you have to be remembering that. Okay. Do you remember that? Sokatua. Right? Okay. Very good. Now, this is the angle opposite adjacent. That will be tan. Opposite adjacent. So it's going to be this. So cross multiply, then we give you that. Calculate the area of triangle ABCD. Of quadrilateral, sorry, quadrilateral. The whole thing. So it's the area of this triangle and the area of this triangle, and then add. So area 1, I did the area of a triangle, and then area of 2. Area of a triangle is a half AB. Area of a triangle, which is a right angle triangle, is base times side. Okay, area of a triangle, that's not a right angle triangle, is a half base times height. Okay, area which is, that's, and substitute in the formula. You have your base, you have your height. Substitute in the formula. Now, to get the area of this one, it's not a right angle triangle. I have to use the area of a triangle that's not a right angle triangle, which is a half AB sine C. So I have this one. So I have this angle. I have to use this side. Okay. That's why I substitute there and add my formulas. When you add, you are going to have this one. Okay. Very good. Next question. Calculate the perimeter of the triangle. Wow. That's how many marks? 5. Perimeter, I have to move around the shape adding. So I have this side. I got that. Remember, it was 8.09. I don't have this one. You can use Sokatua, you can do Pythagoras theorem. It doesn't matter. Because you have this side and you have that one. So me, which one did I use? Okay, I used the Sokatua because I had adjacent and hypotenuse, but also you can go with the Pythagoras theorem. You can go with Pythagoras theorem and we get exactly the same thing. So if you do that one, this is the one I'm doing here. So cos 34 is equal to 12 over AD. So cross multiply AD, and then you're going to have that, okay? So AD will be equal to that. So I've managed to get that. What about BC? You will get it using cosine rule. You have to use cosine rule, and you're looking for the side. If you have two sides, one angle, looking for the third side, it's cosine rule. If you have two sides, one angle, looking for second angle, that's the sine rule. Or if you have two angles, one side, looking for second side, it's also sine rule, okay? Very good. That's how I use the cosine rule here, and I worked out, I got that. And then you move around the shape adding. Whenever you are dealing with the perimeter, you move around the shape adding. So after getting here, and here, and here, I added, okay? So you can just check from my work, I can show you very well. So, no, this one. So BC is that, AD is that, do you get that? So you add all the sides. You get this one, plus that, plus that, plus that, and that gives you that. Okay? Okay? Very good. Next question. Calculate the shortest distance from B to the line AD. Shortest distance. Shortest distance. So this is the shortest distance. They said from B. Shortest distance from B to AD. So it will be this. And whenever it's a shortest distance, you make 90 degrees. Okay, this will be 90 degrees. I don't have this angle, I have to use this one. So opposite, I want to make my 90 degrees very well. Okay, this should be 90 degrees, okay? Very good. Now, opposite hypotenuse, opposite hypotenuse, that is the sine. So that's why I did sine 34 equals to x, equals x over 12, cross multiply, and that is what you're going to have as your shortest distance. The key concept here, whenever you're finding the shortest distance, you got the length given, the one asking you, you make it 90 degrees, and then you see which side, which angle do you have. This is the angle I have. If I had this angle, I would have used that. Okay, good. Next question. Rows of indices. So this times that will give me 15, and then I add the powers. So here you express this in powers, will be 2 power 64 is 2 power 6, then times that, okay, rows of indices, a power m, bracket, n guys. So it's give me a power m n. It's a row of indices which you need to know. So this cancels out with that. I'll get 2 power 5, which is 32. And then this one and this gives me 6. 6 times 5 gives me 32. That is it, my final answer. Okay? I hope you understand that. Good. 22. The universal, it's a universal of everything in the set. G, number of students who study geography. H, they study history, geography. One of the students in the, they told you the total, okay? One of the students in the class is picked at random. Find the probability that this student does not study geography, that also does not study history. So these are the people who study geography and history. So who are the people who are not studying any of that? It's 5. And what's out the total? 32. So it's 5 out of 32. 33. So that will give me, you can write it as a fraction, by the way, it doesn't matter. So it is 5 divided by 33, and that gives me that. Studies geography and history. How many people who study both history and geography? 13. Okay, it is 13. So I'll get 13 out of 33. 2 of the students who study history are picked at random. Find the probability that one student who also studies geography. Okay, let me throw down here. 2 of the students who study history are picked at random. The people we are picking them from history. Oh, okay. How many people, guys, study history? This is that will be 20 students, because 13 plus 7. Now, we are picking from those who study history, okay? Find the probability that one student who also studies geography and one student do not study geography. One more time. We are picking from history. And then we are picking a student who is studying geography from that one. And another one does not study geography. Now, so 20 students study history. So I'm picking one from this who study geography. So it's 13. So it will be 13 over 20. Then another one should be studying history. So there are 7. But one student is already out, guys. Is already out. So it will be over 19. Here I pick geography first, then history second. What if I pick history first? It will be 7 over 19. 7 out of 20, my bad, because I'm picking. Then you pick 13 over 19. And you need to add, because there are possibilities. So the one who studied geography, and then you pick the one who studied history second. Or you pick the one who doing history first, and then geography second. All of these, we are picking them from history, which is 20. I hope you have understood that. That's why I did 13 over 20 times 7 over 19, then times 2. And then when you work out, you have that. I have another very good video on factorization, which is very important. I would advise you to go and watch that video, okay? Now, what's the common factor here? H. Here, difference of 2 squares. So it's h squared minus 4 squared, which will be h plus 4 bracket h minus 4, okay? When you reach here, this and this are the same. So will give me h over h minus 4, okay? And that's the answer. Question 24. Ahmed walks 2 kilometers at the speed of that. Then he walks 3 kilometers at the speed of that. So they gave you total time. Whenever I see they are giving you total time, it's better to work out time 1 and time 2 and the add. It's a trick. Very common questions, by the way, in the exam. So time 1, I can write here the formula. Very important. Trust me, you are going to have this one in the exam. I don't know which one, but you may have it in end of exam. Speed is distance over time. So if I'm looking for time, time is going to be distance over speed. So distance is 2 kilometers over speed. That's time 1. Time 2 is going to be distance, which is that. And the total means we have to add. So I have to get my time 1 plus my time 2. So that means now I'll get 2 over x, which is time 1 plus t, 3 over this thing, that one, okay? The one I'll talk about here, time 2. Now, this is 1 over 1 whole number and 1 over 4. So move from mixed fraction to whole number. This time is that plus that gives me that. LCM for this one, common denominator. So it will be x into x that times here and then times here. This and then that. Okay? Now, which gives me that when you open the brackets, you're going to have that. Okay? And expand at the bottom, cross multiply. But I first simplified before I do cross multiplication. 2x and 3x gives me 5. 2 over x squared plus x. The cross multiply. 5x plus 2 times 4. That's why I got this one. Times that gives me that. Then I take everything the other side. Then get what they're asking me. Hence, prove. I've got my 5 marks. Okay? As easy as pie. Okay, they told you solve this question. 2 decimal place. Normally it's a quadratic question. You can solve it with factorization, completing the squares or quadratic formula. But whenever you see 2 decimal place, never waste your time trying to factorize. Go with completing the square method or quadratic formula. Here I used the quadratic formula and identified my A as 5 because AX squared plus BX plus C. So A is 5, B is negative 15, C is that one. Do you understand that? So that's why I wrote here and substituted in the quadratic formula. I can write quadratic formula here, minus B plus or minus square root of B squared minus 4AC over 2A. I did a video. Where does this formula from? I made a very good video explaining where this formula comes from. Guys, go and watch the video. Come on, go. It will show you. You don't memorize, I always tell students, you better understand. Memorizing doesn't help you. Understanding always beats memorizing, okay? So if you want to know where this formula came from, watch the video, okay? Now, we are looking for X, and X is speed, so it's a real life question. You can't go with a negative value, so you have to go with the positive value. So this is your value of X. Question 25. We have point P and we have point Q. Find the equation of perpendicular bisector. Very common question in the exam. So if you have got a perpendicular equation, you start by finding the midpoint. That's the one. So the formula for midpoint is that. So midpoint is x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. This is my x1, this is my x2. So I add them, which gives me add and divide by 2 gives me that. Then y1 plus y2, which is 0 plus 6, divide by 2, then gives me that. Now, after getting my midpoint, circle and keep it somewhere. You're coming back to that. Look for gradient. Gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is 6, y1 is 0, then x2 is that, and this is x1. So if you work out, so the gradient is going to be 6 over 12, so the gradient will be this. That's the gradient of the line. Now, I would like to draw something here. P, Q. Okay, are we together, guys? Good. Perpendicular bisector is like this. So it's passing through the midpoint. So it's a perpendicular line. So if two lines are perpendicular, you should always remember -1 over gradient 1. That's what I did here. So you get -1 divided by a half. When I was typing here, I didn't write it very well. It's supposed to be negative. It's supposed to be a half. And when you work out that, will give me that. So then, after getting the gradient, I'll write y equals minus x minus 2x plus c. Now, remember that. That's why I was looking for this point. You need to remember your midpoint. That's what you were looking for, because you are looking for this equation. That's the only point we can be able to get. So, which I got here, do you see? So, this is x and this is y. So, it is 3 as y value equals to -2 bracket 14 plus c. -2 times that gives you -28. When I bring it the other side, it will give me c will be equal to 31. So then substitute in the formula, that will be the equation of perpendicular bisector, and I've got my 5 marks. Wow, as easy as pie. Okay, how many questions remaining? Okay, we're almost done, guys. Don't be bored. Okay, normally that's why you move fast. I try to move fast so that you don't spend your too much time watching the video. Okay, this is differentiation. How do we do derivative, guys? We get this in number times that. So this is my derivative. So dy over dx, derivative of my function. Bring this one in front, do minus on the power. So it will be a times 11, which will give me 11a. 11 minus 1, give me that. This one will be 3ab x power b minus 1. Okay? Keep this one. I'm coming. Now, if you have that, I would like you to compare this with this one. So 11a, which is that, should be equal to this. So equal to 44. Divide by 11, divide by 11. So a will be equal to 4. That's what I did here. Now, after getting that, here, do you see that? That's 3b. So 3b will be equal to 18. So b will be equal to 6. And then we know from our comparing, this is supposed to be minus b. Okay, I mean minus 1. Now, this one equals to c. And we have got the value of b, guys. So therefore, c is equal to b minus 1. So b is 6. 6 minus 1 gives you 5. Okay? Very good question. Okay? Very good. Another interesting question in this paper. The diagram shows a cube. Okay? The key what? Calculate the angle between the diagonal AB, AP, and the base. That's what I've done. They are talking about this angle. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on the analyzing of the person, they didn't give us the side, the length, the value of that. So I decided, when I was doing the question, I prefer to go with S, okay? What I know, it's a cube, all the sides are going to be equal, right? So now, if that's the case, I'm interested in getting SC. The base A, B, C, D is a rectangle. If I'm interested in getting that, is a diagonal, is based 90 degrees. So SC will be equal to square root of S squared plus S squared. What's S squared plus S squared? That gives me 2S squared. So what's the square root of that? Will give me square root of 2, because this one is fine. This one will cancel with that. So I've got my SC. My SC is the square root of 2S. And the height is the S. Okay? Very good. Now, how do I get the angle? Opposite, adjacent. That's tan. Tan theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. Now, this is S, and this is S. They are cancelling out. So tan theta is 1 over square root of 2. You can, because it's a calculator paper, then do tan inverse of that and get your answer. But also I can do tan theta, but it's not necessary, guys. Will be called rationalize. Will be square root of 2 over 2. Okay? And then you do tan inverse of that. And all angles are supposed to be given to 3 significant figures. Okay? Was it this the last question? Yes. Okay. Very good. Guys, thank you for watching my videos. You're always welcome to IGCSE Math Academy. We love mathematics. We enjoy teaching mathematics. Like, share, comment, subscribe, share with other friends. You are welcome on any day, anytime. If anything you don't understand, write in the comments. I'll get back to you. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. IGCSE Math, we love mathematics.